LinkedIn has a feature where you can save the search, and they'll send you a weekly email of the results that come up based on a search that you've saved. I just found out about this like this week, so I have not used it, but I'm definitely going to start using it. So I don't know if any of you have used this feature, but I think this is awesome because if you put in the criteria of what you're looking for on a weekly basis, it'll send you an email of who has come onto LinkedIn that fits that criteria for you.
Will it do all the ones it showed you before and then afterwards?
You know, I don't know if it shows you past and present information because I haven't used it. I just came across this week. So I can get back to you when I find that out.
That's relatively, it hasn't been out 2 months. The safe search is brand new.
Oh, it's brand new, okay. Good. So I haven't missed out on it for too long. Have you used it, Doug, by any chance? Okay. Again, searching context, you can join groups, and I'm going to talk about the groups in a little bit. You can check what groups you're in, and you can get yourself added into these groups as well. And then the InMail is the paid service, and then the Get Introduced is a free service for adding connections. So LinkedIn recommendations. So these are just a few recommendations that I have here. What you can do is, like Tom mentioned, that he had people that were asking him for recommendations that he doesn't even really know or that he's done any business with. I recommend that you not do that at all. You want to, LinkedIn has a feature where you can email people for a recommendation back for you. So you can do that, but only do that if you really know the person, if you've worked with that person. You don't want to spam your network on writing a recommendation for you. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, do you really think that you're going to get a good recommendation at that point? So those are probably people that are very new to LinkedIn, that don't know how the LinkedIn community works.
And what's also bad is if you do write a recommendation and they happen to be not so scrupulous, you could end up trashing your own reputation. Right?
Oh, actually.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So you want to
It's
be
not worth it.
You want to be very careful with that. But with that said, don't be afraid to ask for recommendations. If you have worked with people and you had a good, good experience, send them a request. But don't just send them the LinkedIn like standard template request. Write in there, hey, I loved working with you on XYZ project. Would love it if you could talk about some of my project management skills and customer relationship issues. It'd be great to hear how you thought I handled the situation. So they know specifically what type of a recommendation you're looking for. You don't want to send a request for a recommendation to someone that you've worked with on numerous projects and overwhelm them with, okay, so what do I talk about? And then you have a recommendation that you really weren't even looking for a recommendation in that category. So I hope that makes sense.
One more thing.
Yes.
What I do, because I don't really believe in, I try to be really sensitive about this stuff, and I don't really want to get a recommendation unless there is a true desire. It's a way of respecting myself. So what I do if I seek a recommendation from somebody is I look at what I share with that professional, because this is people that I did something with, and so I go ahead and send them a recommendation. And then the system is so smart and I think so appropriate and professional that prompts them to return the favor, and I think those are the words that the system uses. Return the favor by another recommendation, by you making the recommendation of this individual that just recommended you. That is, to me, the cleanest and the most, the most comfortable way of getting a recommendation without having to, beg for a recommendation. Okay, which could be misperceived, or you could need somebody's recommendation if you want to move into a certain type of job, or maybe you're going to be interviewed, or you're being, your resume is being reviewed by employers. So at that point, you want a recommendation. You need a recommendation, and somebody probably can give you that recommendation. But I like to take the nonchalant method where I don't have to be perceived as begging for a recommendation. Even though I would never really do that. But that's just how I operate. So that's the cool thing about LinkedIn, is that it allows you to do that.
Yep. And what I did was when I first started to use the recommendations, was that there were speakers that had come to speak at our real estate investment club, and I saw that they were on LinkedIn. And these were speakers that did really well, gave great information for our members. So what I did was I wrote recommendations for them for when they came and spoke at our club. And what they did in return is they did the recommendation back to me saying how great we treated them when they were here as a speaker, and you know how greatly we promoted them, and they have not seen that same experience when they've gone to other real estate investment clubs. And there's a lot of real estate investment clubs out there. So that was a great testimonial for me as being someone who runs a real estate club at that time to receive that feedback from them. So definitely I would recommend you start writing recommendations out, and then they will eventually start to reciprocate in. So
I would also think it would be a good idea to invite your people that you know already, so that they can join you on there, and then you guys can trade recommendations, and that way you can build up a little resume on it.
Can I answer that too?
sure.
Write them offline, open the recommendation up and write it in a Word file, edit it, run it through spell check before you put it up there.
Absolutely.
Same thing, yeah.